might enjoy it for some time.
That's Rick's. That's Kelly's.
Oh, they got the pass that down.
I see.
Please, hand me for us, Kelly.
Mail call.
Nope.
County has nothing to do.
All right. I seen Tim Yocum the other day, and he talked like it wasn't necessarily a done deal yet.
Couple, 3 weeks ago.
Good riddance, huh?
That's Rick's.
Feels good
That's
again.
Kelly's.
Feel human.
Lose a little weight, just shave your beard.
Brenda.
That's what he told Owen when he was
Not just
wrestling.
county.
Neil,
He said,
Tammy,
"You look-
Jeff.
got a lot of hair on his
Yeah.
head, so just cut your hair and you'll probably make weight. I'm sorry.
Is it on? Yep. You ready? Call to order the Vermillion County Council meeting for January 12th, 2026. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, Mr. Costello. Here. Mr. Somerville.
Here.
Ms. Brown.
Here.
Mrs. Jameson present. Mrs. Furry.
Here.
Mr. Bose.
Here.
And Mr. Weir.
Here.
First item we have is our approval of minutes from our December 8th, 2025 meeting. That's our regular meeting, and also the special council meeting that was held on December 19th, 2025. Are there any corrections, additions, comments for the minutes?
I wasn't here for the special meeting, so,
We can do it separately.
okay, I don't think I can vote for that.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and make a motion for December 8th.
Okay.
Okay, I'll make a motion for that, or second that one, please.
All right. I have a motion for Mrs. Furry, a second for Mr. Weir to approve the Vermillion County Council meeting minutes from December 8th, 2025. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed state no. Right, minutes are approved.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes for December 19th.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. I have a motion for Mr. Weir, a second for Mr. Bose to approve the Vermillion County Council special meeting minutes from December 19th, 2025. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed state no. Minutes are approved. All right, next on the agenda is transfer of funds. We do have some transfers. Some of them, I think most of them are from the end of December after our last meeting. The first transfer is, does require a vote. It is for the prosecutor He's asking to transfer $58.81 from dues and subscriptions to law books to pay for an invoice.
I'll make that motion.
I had a question. The invoice is for $858.
That's all he needed.
Oh, okay.
I'll go ahead and
I thought it
second.
was typed.
I'll second the motion.
Okay.
Now, the reason for the difference from the invoice to
Okay.
what he needed was he already had some.
I have a motion from Mr. Weir, a second from Mrs. Furry, for the transfer of $58.81 in the prosecutor's general fund budget from dues and subscriptions to law books. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, state no. Transfer is approved. The next transfer is reporting only. It is from the auditor for $50 dues and subscriptions to postage in the general fund budget. The next transfer is also reporting only. It is from the Veterans Office. They were transferring $840.06 from burial of soldiers to veterans flags to purchase new flags for veterans. And the last transfer is also reporting only. It is for the commissioner's budget in the general fund. They are transferring $984.13 from postage to dues and subscriptions to pay the AIC dues for 2026. Any questions on those? Okay. We do also have one additional appropriation. We tabled it in 2026 due to the fact that it was related to the 2026 budget. We couldn't actually do it until January. It is for the plat book fund from the auditor's office. This is a fund that we did not advertise during budget hearing, and so during budget hearing we had discussed about putting part-time and overtime amounts out of this fund. So this is the additional appropriation that would allow for those items to be used in 2026. The request is part-time for $32,000 and overtime of $8,000 for a total of $40,000 from the plat book fee fund.
But wasn't it a different amount in the budget hearings?
Yeah. In budget hearings, we had, like for other offices, like the clerk of the circuit court, we had done $23,400 for part-time. And overtime varied per office for anywhere from like $1,000 to $3,000 to $5,000. Obviously, the highway and the sheriff's department were higher, and 911. But
I took a picture. There it is. It was 3,000. It was 23,400 at $15 an hour, and then 3,000 for overtime is what we had done at budget hearings. Well, we discussed, obviously.
and thinking on the 23.4 was $15 an hour times 30 hours a week.
Correct.
My math is correct. Okay.
So let me ask hours. I don't know if you have hours. How many hours are we projecting to use straight time? How many hours are we projecting to do overtime? Do we have that?
At this time, it's pretty hard to give you an estimate on trying to catch the books out.
So that's really what it is more than anything.
It's to catch the, to help catch the books out. So, it's, like I said, it's pretty hard to give you an estimate on how much, but I don't know.
So
I mean, all I know is 7 months behind or 8 months behind on mine and 3.5 years behind prior to that. So it's going to take some time, and probably this won't be enough money probably to get it done. And if it is, then we can put it back in the fund. But there's no way I can say,
So what I'm thinking is, during a month's period of time, I'll say it could be 176 hours of just straight time during the month. So are you looking at somebody full-time for the whole month doing that for 6 months or part-time?
I'm trying to get as much as I can. If I can't run the 40, then we'll end up with probably 2 people. So it's gonna take time to get it done.
So the question was, is really, what's the game plan? You know, how are you trying to
I'd like to call that,
understand?
that's the game plan. And again, I don't know how long it's gonna take, because every day we go by, I'm farther behind on mine, besides the 3.5 years, so.
What's the hourly wage for the people?
15.
15?
And what run into trouble with is finding people that come in and work for the $15 an hour and stick around for very long to even help. They'll work some and then end up getting a job somewhere else, you know, paying them benefits and everything. So it's kind of been a tough road to hoe, so to speak, to get it done. Keep somebody here. We've been looking into other options on that at this point, but anyhow, yeah, it's kind of hard for me to say how many hours it's gonna take. I'm sure this is probably not even gonna be a drop in the bucket, probably to get it done.
Now, the overtime is to cover the entire office,
Mhm.
correct?
Yeah. We did the overtime differently this year. Typically, it had been like one lump sum in the commissioner's court. We tried to break that out to each department, and then if each department had additional sources of revenue that were not property tax money, like general fund money, we tried to use those first. So we put overtime in theirs, which some offices don't have that, so that's why there's overtime for everyone in the plat book fee.
And you say you've looked into having a part-time employee up to 40 hours a week, and that was okay? Because everything I've done has not allowed it over 30 hours a week for a part-time.
According to the State Board of Accounts, as long as you bring the person in and they understand that they could get more hours than 30 hours a week, and they agree to it, it's okay to do it.
But they're not the IRS. They're 2 different entities.
I understand that.
State board can
But
approve
I
it.
haven't had that real problem because
Okay.
most of the time you can't get anybody here
keep 'em.
But
long
you,
enough to.
typically what you had to do when they can work for a period of time, and I don't remember what the period of time is, and then they have to be off for a specific
Right.
number of time, and then they can come back
Right.
to work.
Yeah.
So if we take this 32,000, just part-time, divided by 15, that's 2,133 hours, which is more than one person for a year.
Full time.
Not, yeah, be full-time, so, I mean,
I'm not
we had-
opposed to the dollar amounts as much as it is. I just want to make sure that we're,
Yeah, I just want to kind of have an idea of what, and Ron said,
If I had
maybe
that
more than one
full-time
person.
position, I need filled back in my office, I wouldn't be sitting here discussing this right now. But I mean, you guys gotta realize what I've been cut. I mean, last year and this year too, I mean, I'm doing the best job we can get done with little or no help.
That cut position started at a part-time position, became full-time when we did the jail, and took on the highway responsibilities. So we no longer have the jail process, and we don't have the highway anymore either, so that's why it was cut, because those things had not been
But I
announced.
think that position shouldn't have been cut, because if these books would have been kept up, you would need that position.
so have you checked with them to see if you can't just print it from the computer? Because that's what they told me. All I had to do was
No,
actually
because the
physically
records
print
aren't
it,
right, that's the problem.
print it from the computer.
When the State Board of Accounts come into this and looked at this, we're running into trouble with the assessor's office, recorder's office, the auditor's office. Sometimes they got recorded, sometimes they got put in the auditor's office, sometimes they didn't.
Sometimes they're
Okay.
missing.
So we've got to check all 3 places before we can even make sure we make all the changes in hours now. I can take you over and show you the paperwork now where there's thousands,
But,
you know.
but if you correct it in the system, once it's corrected in the system, all you should have to do is print it out, and you don't have to physically record it, is what I'm saying, into those books.
Well, when the State Board of Accounts recommended to do the books, and they told this to the commission, I don't know if everybody understood this, we're supposed to have the books.
Okay, well, they told me at the meeting that you didn't have to have them, all you had to have,
So we
Have it in
have
the
the books,
computer.
we just don't have the manpower to get it done. So,
Well, 32,000 wouldn't cover a full-time person.
32,000 does,
Well,
I
it
mean, not
covers it full
benefits.
no.
well,
It
that
has
wouldn't
to be
include
part-time.
benefits anyway.
Yeah.
That's another line item.
Yeah. So it's kind of, it's like an in-between amount. It doesn't cover full-time, but it covers, it would cover multiple part-time, I guess, but.
I mean, we have enough money to cover the full-time position, but it's only gonna be for about a year, maybe a year and a half,
Yeah, I just stick with part-time if you can do
you
that,
know?
if you can find somebody.
That's the next, has been the problem.
Public service announcement, the
Yeah.
courthouse has positions for $15 an hour working inside the controlled climate courthouse.
Friendly environment.
Flexible schedules if possible.
Do you try to hold them close to the 30 hours when they're here?
Well, no, well, I mean, if they'll work 40, I've been letting them work 40, but it's hard to find somebody to put in the 40. So it's, yeah.
I just know that she is right, the IRS is funny, you gotta watch, then they're like, well, you owe benefits, so.
How do you have 40 hours a week but not be considered full-time eligible?
It's tricky. It's like,
Yeah,
I'll just say like a contractor, if I brought in somebody to do it for Ron and it was a contractor that Ron's overseeing them and I'm not overseeing them as a contractor, then he can be held liable or whatever. Everything kind of flip-flops and a lot of that, and I don't understand that very well, but I do know when I was employed and hired people, I had to be very careful through that whole process.
and you have to, basically, it's kind of like your taxes, you file it for the year. So if you hire somebody and they work 40 hours a week, 40 hours a week, 40 hours a week, and then they're not here for 2 months, it equals itself within that year. It's like, so what they do is they take it by the week to explain to you, if you're gonna keep them every week, they can't work more than 30 hours a week. So if you work them more than that, you gotta make sure that you let them off
For just this
before the
specific
end of
period of
that
time.
fiscal
It's like
year.
the Parks
Yeah.
Department.
Kind of like a seasonal.
Like a
Yes,
week?
kind of like a
Yeah,
seasonal thing.
try to make it
Week
more
off or
seasonal.
a month or
You just kind of have
There's
to
a period of
monitor.
time, I can't tell you what it is right now.
It's hourly.
Yeah.
It's by the hours.
I'm gonna say, off the top of my head, 30 days or something like that. It's not hours, it's
I mean,
days.
couldn't you just hire 2 part-time people?
That's what I
15
would
an hour
do.
and say 20 hours a week, and then you get your 40 hours of work.
Yep, that's what I would do. I mean, if I was attempting to
If you
do
can
it.
find them, it's not easy.
The school, that's what I did. I used the school.
I suggest posting a live in Clinton. I see a lot of people on there advertise it, like
That's
wanting
true.
jobs, like especially. like
Something you guys need to realize is, I mean, Brenda, during your term here, you did have another full-time position, you had a part-time position, you did use a student from the high school. Now, during this time, these books weren't done.
Right.
This job was not done. You had the extra help to get this done. Right now, I am cut to the bone.
Yeah. Well, the extra help
I
was mainly from
literally
highway.
need another
Yeah.
full-time position right now, literally, besides part-time help. And we've been over this and over, and that's why I said, well, we have money here to use,
I thought some.
what I really need done is for the council to fund me a full-time position is what I really need.
The other thing that I would say Ron's probably running into is, let's just say you got somebody from Clinton. Gas money here, gas money back, there's a lot of things that goes into hiring a part-time person that, people don't want. They want a full-time job, so they're looking, he's probably having problems attracting and retention for hiring.
Well, and the other
It's
thing you
just a
have,
struggle.
these books, you don't want, or I don't want, just somebody off the street entering these documents in these books. It's fine for them to do the research, is what I've been having to do now, or it's not right between the officers, that's fine. But actually putting this information in these books, this is history we're putting in. I want them done right.
So
What if you just hire a
You know?
contractor? Is a contractor fee to do this outrageous? or-
Oh, would
But
hate to say what
okay, I
it
know the
was.
books were like, they're about like physical books when you were in office, but wasn't the information in the computer system because,
But he's saying that information is incorrect.
It's not correct.
But you have to correct it there before you can put it in the book.
is it not correct because there's been more changes to those properties?
No. A lot of them wasn't even entered.
So where does the auditor get the information then to put into the computer system? To enter that?
It's a
We
process.
had it printed off, but we had to go with that print, then we have to go back and
I mean,
check
does
the
that
other
come
two
from like
departments to
the
make
assessor or the
sure
treasurer or the somebody else in the
everybody
courthouse
else
to
is
feed it to the
correct
auditor?
assessor and the
between,
recorder.
yeah, the
Oh, okay.
recorder and the assessor, yeah. And there is hundreds and hundreds of changes that being made. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
I was, my thought was if you have a full-time employee, it's going to be X dollars a year. What is that going to be roughly, generally?
It's 18 to 20% higher than just the wages because you have
Right. That's what I
Social
mean.
Security,
the total-
Medicare.
Right.
work comp.
But it's year after year.
Unemployment.
I mean, it's on, it never stops.
Retirement.
But I'm saying if you have
Well,
a contractor says we can do this in 3 months, it's gonna be $150,000 or something. That we have funds available to just get it done and he doesn't have to worry about it.
So
Or does anyone even do this?
the
type of-
advantage of having a full-time person is that they will be here for those guaranteed hours. But when you actually look at the number of holidays, sick time, personal days, paid lunches, things like that, when you actually go through it and find the full-time help, they're only working an average of 28 to 29 hours if they get the 2 weeks vacation. So you're not actually gaining any more work hours by hiring a full-time person if they're using all their benefits. You're just gaining the stability of having the person in the office.
Right, I
And
agree
then-
with that statement.
Well, and then if you pay it out of this, who's gonna have want a full-time position that's gonna be done when the money's gone? Too, as well.
The
But
other
there's
thing
also-
is, you can hire a full-time person and then evaluate it when the next person leaves, and there's always changes, whether you're still gonna fill that. I mean, that person may stay here for 2 years, and Ron catches up, the person may leave in 6 months, and you're still gonna have to hire somebody else. I mean, there's
Well, and we
several
did
ways
it.
to look at this.
Yeah, and we did it for those 2 years.
Sure.
And then when I went to conference, they said, you don't have to do this anymore. I love how they're
Yeah.
changing their mind, but it's okay. Ally, as long as it's in the computer, and what I was told after the fact was, well, I had to let them know that's the way we were doing it. Well, I didn't let them know that because I didn't know that I needed to let them know that.
Yeah.
So once it's caught up, you shouldn't need another, because it's really,
That's what I'm
the
saying.
process is bang, bang, bang. It's all at the same time when you do the transaction. It's all done at the same time. Yeah, and we did have issues. A lot of times the recorder would still have it or the assessor would have it, and we'd have to catch it up. But when you do it like that, it's usually done within a timely fashion.
Yeah. So the question is how best to resolve this? Is it part-time, full-time, or?
How about the employees start working 40 hours a week? That makes a big difference. I mean,
Well, Ron's saying he's still got
Yeah.
other things going on, so.
It's not,
It's not,
it's a busy office. I'm
I
not
didn't say
gonna
that.
deny that.
One
talking-
person in property is not enough. I mean, we can't cover anybody right now. Anybody goes on vacation, then the other person gotta do their job on top of their job. I don't have the backup, Brenda, that you have.
Well, and part of the
I
reason
mean, you
was,
had 3 other bodies in there that I don't have.
well, part of the reason part of the reason I had Leanne come down and be in the office,
know?
so she did
Back
more
up.
than HR and payroll.
But what I'm saying is you had the bodies and these jobs still didn't get done while you had I don't even have the bodies. And I'm trying to get it
Well,
done.
it did get done for the first 2 years.
No, it got done a little over a year is all it got done.
we can agree to disagree.
Yeah, we all agree
Yeah.
to disagree that.
And
'Cause I
not
was
only
told
that,
at my second-year
while we're on the subject, not only that, you run between 400 and 600 hours of comp time out of your office also. And I went back and checked those records you did.
I did.
So bottom line, I'm not even trying to do that to try to save the
But-
county money.
But that is
But the bottom line is,
payout.
I need a full-time position.
Anytime somebody quits,
I need this person.
when they quit, when Tanya quit, when Annie quit, anybody quit, I have to pay that comp time out. And not all that comp time was under my watch, so, but yes, I did run a lot of comp time.
Well, it was during the year, period of being auditor, it had to be under your watch.
Well, yeah, but what she's
So-
saying, it could have been through the other
Yeah,
administration.
you know, it's like our report, we don't,
Accumulates over a
it
period of
doesn't
time.
stop at the end of the year. It rolls over.
So the question becomes, the additional appropriation is not enough to cover a full-time,
What it is,
but it's not, because you got all
not
the
for
extra.
benefits.
Yeah, you gotta add all the extra employee
Right.
lines in there.
I agree.
So it can be one of those where you agree to hire a full-time person for the year, knowing that it may not be, I mean, depending on who you hire, how, if they do stay, if they don't stay, if they don't take benefits, how much it runs that fund, it may be more than a year or two. And to see where that gets you on getting caught up. Or we leave it at the part-time and you see what you can get for the next few weeks to see if you do have any takers on part-time. Or, I mean, if it goes to a full-time person, then one, the salary resolution is wrong for tonight, and then two, we would have to do a further additional appropriation to, it would be basically a 6-month full-time at this point, based on what's been advertised. We can always approve less, we can never approve more from the additional appropriations, so.
Well, and I think the amounts, or the other thing is we don't have the Social Security, the Medicare.
That's right.
And all
Or you
that
can
stuff.
leave it in part-time for now, and then get those calculations and the line items and the adjustment to the salary resolution and bring it back as a full-time, if that is the choosing to make it a full-time instead of part-time, but at least have part-time for the beginning of the year.
That's kind of where I'm leaning is, let's go ahead and have a part-time position for 6 months.
Well, we've
And
already tried this.
if you get the right person, if Ron finds the right person, then let's look at making that a full-time position.
It's hard for me to bring in a part-time person and say, well, I might be able to get you a full-time job, but probably won't. And just as soon as another job pops up, they're gone. So you can't keep training these people.
Well, I'm just
And
gonna
the
say,
bottom line is, though, I need this full-time position back in the office.
when I was at Duke Energy, I had to hire somebody, but they were temporary until later that they proved themselves, and that's what I'm suggesting to you, Ron, is let's hire a part-time person.
I've
They
already done this, Rick.
They prove
I've
them,
been through 3 people already,
they prove themselves,
and they proved themselves.
then we hire them
All 3
full-time.
of them did.
And they left because it was part-time.
It's part-time. They
We're
wouldn't have
saying
took the
if
full-time
they
job.
prove, you can hire them under the stipulation that, hey, you're gonna evaluate these people, 3 months, 6 months, or whatever you wanna do. And they
We still have to separate some of this out.
get through your thing, then you're gonna hire them
I think I'm gonna get a
full-time.
better variety of people if I have a job position that I can say, hey, I've got a full-time.
Only thing I
job
can
there.
tell you, I hired a meter reader for less than $15 an hour, and I had 200 applicants. But the knowing that, hey, I can go from $15 an hour to $25 an hour in 6 months, that was huge to me.
You might have had.
I don't think you're gonna get to
You might have
that.
had 200 applicants, what I'm saying is.
Where do we typically post job openings for the county? Is it on the county website? Do we have a spot specifically for it? I don't know what we do. Does anyone know? Like,
Yeah, there's a place on the website.
there is a place? Okay.
I think there's an employment link.
I just wondered where we actually,
I mean, that's just an idea.
But the bottom line here is, I need this position. Regardless of books or anything else, we need this position filled in the office. I need it filled in the office. I want the full-time position back. I need it. The county needs it. That's what I'm asking for, the full-time position.
Well, what you're asking for right now is just.
No, I know, but I've just been playing the game here.
Yeah.
This past year,
Yeah.
we went from $20,000 to $10,000 to $0 to find your own money. And that's where I'm at now. I'm actually finding my own money, which is taxpayers' money that they paid here. And these fees,
so are you asking for basically a temporary part-time person to help get the books caught up? Or temporary part-time, or full-time, jeez, Louise.
yeah, I
That's-
would like to have a full-time position, yes.
So what do you,
And Brenda, you understand this more than anybody. You had all these people in your office.
Ron, we
How
have-
how did you
With all
let
due
people
respect,
go on vacations
with
and
all due,
everything else?
with all due respect, we had a lot, we had the highway in our office, and that was a lot. That was a full-time person by itself,
And that position wasn't also filled most of the
and it
last
wasn't
year.
always filled. And we did get by.
You got by, just the work didn't get done
Yeah, it got done.
with 3 other people.
It got done.
No, it didn't,
So-
because I wouldn't be doing this today
So
if you'd have done your job.
Okay, we'll agree to disagree.
All right?
that doesn't fix our problem with the additional appropriation. We have to decide what to do with it, whether to continue to table it and justify and advertise more additional appropriation, to leave it as part-time for now until you, because what we have advertised does not correlate to a full-time position right now.
But what I think we need to do is work this situation, not here tonight. We need to get back with Ron and the department and work it so-called offline and go ahead and approve this additional appropriation. At least we got the ball rolling instead of tabling it for another month. That's kind of where I'm leaning.
So the next question is, it doesn't have the Social Security, Medicare, whatever else comes out of a part-time person as well. So instead of,
Just make
do we
the
need to make
40,000.
adjustments? I
I
mean, the
would-
total's the total. We can we adjust that within the numbers?
This wouldn't be enough for a year, no. It would have to have
Even for
just-
6 months.
But it'd be enough, like Rick's saying,
So
to get it going and appropriate the more on
Would it-
down the road.
additional appropriations are advertised, it's just a sum.
It's just the total, the
It's-
40,000
it's
is
not
all
how you
that's
divide it
advertised.
out.
Right.
We got
Yeah.
40,000 here. That gets us started for at least 6 months.
But with that 40, we need to make sure that
Yeah, we
if you
divide it
keep
out.
your part-time at 32, then you need to take out of the overtime
I'm
at
not even
8.
thinking part-time, I want a full-time position.
Yeah, but we're just trying to get,
Yeah, I know.
we're trying to just get moving forward here on this.
And take out of the 8,000 for the Social Security, Medicare. It's not gotta be a lot.
This needs caught up. These need, I mean, they need to be done.
I agree with you.
So are you-
I think we all agree with you.
As far as the applications go for people, I don't know where we advertise stuff, but on the website, there is a direct link to highway department applications. They're not job postings, it's just the application. And then another one is kind of like a general application, like if you're just sitting at home, decide that you want to work here, you go fill this out and tell them what you can do for us, and maybe they'll have a job for you type thing, which probably neither of those is working, I doubt. I mean, nobody just tells us what they're gonna do, so probably need a place where we could advertise that on the website. Shouldn't be hard. Should be pretty easy.
They could put it on the front,
Yeah, just an
a
employment
notice,
link.
notice
and
of employment. Mm-hmm.
Notice of job notices, it doesn't, and how to apply. I mean, it doesn't have to be.
if you're hiring at the $15 an hour, because there again, anything on the salary resolution can be hired at under the rate that's listed, and the part-time help is 15. That's $31,200 a year. So that leaves you an extra $800 out of that part-time line to apply towards benefits. So the only additional you'd probably have to need is to cover, I mean, if someone took obviously all the benefits. Retirement's the big one. It's 11.2%. So
You're talking about using it as, making it a full-time instead of part-time?
if you make it a full-time at $15 an hour,
At $15
you don't
an hour.
have to have as much as more as an additional appropriation as you would, based on what you're doing. So, but that's something that you have to decide, I think, of, you know,
Well,
How much
I
money
also
that's
have to
gonna
decide
take.
what kind of person am I gonna get for the $15 an hour? What's it generally gonna be? Teenager, someone, you know,
but if they're doing the repetitive tasks that, I mean, is that something that is, I mean, I guess if it's just for the books, is it the same
I
thing?
guess what I'm trying to say is.
One area of
not only
knowledge
these
that
books need done, but to help me in this office and help the people that's working in the office, this needs to be a full-time position. I can't even train right now, just like an HR and payroll, I can't even train anybody. There's not enough staff in here to cover this office, literally. And again, Brendan, you should be saying he's right.
But like I said, at full-time, you're not gonna gain any more
You
hours
know?
than you are with a part-time, 30 hours. Because when all the benefits are in there, you're not actually gaining any more hours.
I have played the
You're just- yeah,
part-time
you're-
game, and it's just a game.
Well, what we're trying to say, or at least I'm trying to say, is let's do something here. And let's get together and let's get real serious about how we're gonna solve this and what time frame that we're gonna try to solve it in. Because it's just like Ron, he needed additional help and he's got a part-time person. We started off with a short period of time and now it's, it's kind of moved on to multiple months. Yeah, but we're getting it done slowly but surely, and that's what we're gonna have to do somehow here too.
Well, I'm only asking for one person, not three.
And I know, but that's what I'm saying.
You know.
We're gonna try to solve how we wanna do this in the next month or whatever it is. So that, we just gotta figure this out. We're not gonna solve it here tonight, because we're all gonna have different opinions. But we need to figure something out we're all agreeable to do.
What I'm trying to say is, for me to officially run this office, get everything done that needs to be done, I need the full-time position.
We hear you. I hear you.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I hear you, but
And
I didn't
that's
say we're
still
gonna
not-
make it that way.
And that's still not covering everybody when they're off.
I know. We've all been there, or at least
I
I've
mean-
been there.
I had days when there was one person in my office.
You know,
Yep.
I know what you're talking about.
You just do and you just get by.
You should have the same problem, you have a full-time position with vacations, holidays, all stuff, you're still only getting 20 hours a week out of it. So,
But at least I have that position, someone else I've got in there that I can try to move around and train in other areas. Right now, I don't have that. I don't have that luxury. We don't have it. You know, when that person is gone, that job don't get done, someone's trying to fill in for it. And I can't, and to do that on top of trying to catch all this work up is ridiculous.
So,
And that brings tension in the office, between the employees. I mean, it's just not good. I don't want to spend the next 3 years like I spent the last one.
so are there any recommendations for tonight's additional appropriation? It's not listed as, it's just not the right amount or not the right.
I don't think we can do a full-time tonight. We could do I would suggest if we do anything, we would do the 40,000. Help me out here, DJ. 40,000. We need to separate out that 40,000 with what they're gonna get paid, whether it's one person, two people, whatever, the overtime, figure out all of the Social Security, all the Medicare, all those benefits. Those line items need to be added to the sheet to equal 40,000.
And that's what
I
I'm
think
proposing.
that's the best that we can do tonight, because we don't have enough on here to make it full-time, to do benefits. I think that's the best we can do
So then
tonight.
you're
And
saying,
then we can move
And then we
forward.
can start with this and see where it
This is a
goes,
starting point, yeah.
and then go from there.
So I'll second that motion.
Okay.
okay.
I think, if I understand the auditor correctly, though, he's saying he already knows where it goes. He's done this multiple times, so maybe there's nothing we can do about it tonight, though.
So this would essentially be putting $40,000 into, be able to be used out of that fund for the purposes of employment. However, the employment itself is up for debate with more additional appropriations in the future, whether it stays part-time or becomes full-time.
Correct.
Well, why don't we just move the 40,000 in there then? We can go ahead and call it the full-time, and all we have to do then is appropriate more money to make it last for the year.
Well, what we've advertised, we can't
Yeah,
do
we
that
can't.
As far
tonight.
as this part-time business, and everybody's saying, try this, try this, try this.
We can't do
I've
that
already
tonight
tried
with the
this.
paperwork and what we
No, I
filed.
understand that, but we can go ahead and make this pass, that I'm gonna hire a full-time position.
It would be easier to make it the part-time and transition the part-time. You can hire somebody in your 40 hours a week at the 15 as a part-time, and then elevate that at the next time. You
Can
can't,
you
What we need
advertise
to
it
do,
as-
I'm tired of playing the game, Brenda.
it's not a
Well,
game.
yes, it is. It's all it's been this past year. I mean, you guys cut my budget to nothing. You guys made this almost ridiculous
Ron,
to try to do this.
Ron, if you wanted something, you needed to come to the budget hearings and fight for it. You didn't do that. But I'm saying that's where we get down to the brass tacks back in September. We've gone October, November, December, now January or whatever. You fight for what you want back in early. Now, I appreciate you wanting to do it, and I think when we're all saying we want to fix this, how we fix it, we're all going to have different opinions.
Yeah. Well, and with all due respect, everybody's budget got cut. The state cut our budget. They're going to cut
No
it.
one's budget got cut the way mine did.
Everybody's budget got cut.
You cut,
Everybody's
you
budget.
cut mine an additional $28,000 from what I turned in.
Brenda didn't do it.
No.
Brenda didn't do it.
The
So
council did.
the things that have
And
gotten
the state
cut,
did.
I want to clarify that though. People look at their total number of their budget and they think they got cut. But what we have done over the last several years is look at the extra slack that wasn't being spent and took out the extra fluff. So if you actually look at the dollars that are spent in every budget, the dollars spent in every budget are not going down. So yeah, the overall number, but if you had $100,000 for professional services and you're not using them, yeah, we took out. I'm not saying you had that, but I'm saying we took out the extra. So actually, some of those line items have been increased substantially over the last couple of years. So you have to look at the whole thing of the actual expenses that are actually being paid out, not just the number on the budget. And just because you ask for something in the budget, we have people asking for the moon, the stars, and the sky every year. So just because you ask for something doesn't mean it got cut. So I just wanted to clarify that to the general public because it sounds like we've been taking money out, we can't operate. No, that's not the case. We have left money in everyone's budget to operate at the same levels that they have been operating. If they were
That is
spending,
not true, actually.
yes, it is.
Because if
No one's
if
going
that-
without
if that was
postage.
true,
No one's going out without
then you would have
paper.
given me the budget that this woman sitting right here had, and you took every bit of it away.
No, we did not.
Yes, you did.
No, I'll find the paper.
Find the paper. You cut my part-time help.
We do have a motion.
Yeah, we got a motion.
You know
And we're
what?
not going to solve this here tonight. We got to move
No,
forward.
this needs discussed. I believe the auditor has valid points.
Right.
I believe that I do not work in that office. I couldn't tell you what goes on there, and I'm sure it's not fun, and it's difficult work. I know that. So we're definitely going to have to take a serious look at it, I think.
Right.
But I don't think we should spend the time tonight discussing the fine details of the budget.
But we need to
Well, we
get
have
an
a
appointment,
motion
come
right
in here
now.
and start solving the problem. Yeah.
All right, well, I have a motion from Brenda, a second from Mr. Weir, to allow $40,000 additional appropriation into plat book fund for the auditor's office for employment. Is there any further discussion?
Make sure that it's noted that the benefits need to come out of that $40,000 that's not on the sheet.
So it's gonna be $15 an hour with benefits.
No benefits. But when I say benefits, I mean yeah, it's what you pay. Social Security and Medicare
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Employment taxes.
and taxes.
And then
That's not benefits.
Yeah.
then we need to get a group, small group of us, get with Ron and figure out how we're going to move forward to solve his issue. And it might be multiple issues. One is catching everything up, and two might be how to move forward and meet some of his needs if it's possible. So we may have to tackle this in two shots.
Okay, well, if anyone wants to just email me and let me know who wants to take care of that.
Yep.
And let him know. All right. I have a motion from Brenda, a second from Mr. Weir. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, state no. The additional is approved. Next item on the agenda is the treasurer's monthly report. Yeah. No, I don't have them. If they were sent in,
They were sent in and I did receive an email saying they were gonna be on the seat.
State Board of Accounts, DOGF changed a few things, and they didn't open it up until the first, and we have to have a 14-day window to upload in DOGF, and I didn't have that 14-day window, so it will be on February's council.
I'm sorry, Wendy, is that your
That's my grants.
your grants.
So they're gonna be in the negative.
That'll
That's
be
okay. It's
They're
fine.
all grants and all money that we have in our funds.
Okay.
So do I need to come back next month as well, or?
Now, is there anything, it's just the remaining balance of your grants that we do every
Yeah,
year?
the grants, and then we have, a donation fund that we received some $200 from a donation from, the Carpenters local unit for our, food distribution.
Okay,
So we wanted to open a donation so we can spend that.
okay, so you just need it applied into your budget to spend it?
Yes.
Okay,
And then there's other additional appropriations, but like I wanna say, we do have all the money in our funds, we're not asking for it.
right, yeah, because yours are the off-cycle. Yeah, so I don't think there should be a problem where,
No.
I mean,
No, you don't need to come back.
Okay.
thank you.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I think the changes that were made were to eliminate the need to advertise in a local publication
Yes.
so many days prior to the meeting to publish.
Right.
So did,
14 days with DLGF
Yeah.
prior to the meeting is satisfies the law now.
so they got rid of the 10-day newspaper, but they added 4 days to put into the system. But with it being the first of the year and our meeting is now, it's not 14 days.
So do all department heads are aware of this?
They are now.
I think there was an email sent out about the 14-day notice, I think at the end of last year. But I don't think, they may not have been aware that the system wasn't able to accept things
Today's.
since, till the
In
first.
December.
It's this specific meeting.
So. Well, yeah, if anyone else had additional appropriations, I'm sorry, they're not in this, no. Okay. All right, so the next item is the treasurer's report. Any questions on that? All right, moving along, we have the comp time report for the county. Any questions, comments regarding that report?
So are people still collecting comp time and then deciding later to be paid out? Is that how it's still working?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I'd mentioned about having employees specify if they want overtime or comp time during that pay period when they fill out their time forms then. Is that not, is that something that the commissioners would have to entertain?
Yeah, they'd have to update the handbook to accommodate.
I mean, it's
that.
all the same. I think it makes, it keeps better track of the overtime that departments have by paying it out when it's decided they want pay instead of comp time. Because if you just collect comp time and then pay it out all at once, may not have the overtime to cover that. If each employee does that, you're just going to start seeing, you're going to have too much overtime to pay out versus knowing when you get to the end of your overtime during the year, you could not allow overtime anymore.
So let me ask this question. I see hours paid out, 16, 118, 25, 60, even see 6 hours. Do we have a minimum or a maximum? I mean, what's the policy here? If I was on the State Board of Accounts, I'd just be curious.
I mean,
Policy is elected official makes that decision for their department.
if they can be paid out.
Yeah, so why would we just pay 6 hours? Why would we not pay 40 hours or something like that?
They can,
It's what they requested. The employee must have requested it.
Let's say that we're over their time, that there was a certain amount of time that allowed them to accumulate.
Yeah,
Looking at this certain individual, looks like they were getting close to the maximum amount, and then he got paid over.
That's kind of, I agree with that. It looks like we would try to, if they work another 8 hours, so-called next month or next week, then we'll have to do this again. Why don't we just pay them out, or half of it or something?
Are you saying like make a minimum amount?
Well, I'm just throwing out a suggestion. It just takes a lot of work for writing checks, so to speak, for $6 or 6 hours.
Well, it's not a separate check, it's on,
I know, but
Okay.
you know what I'm saying.
yeah.
Yeah, it looks like that's what's happened. They were approaching their limit.
So anyway, just a thought.
It definitely needs revisited.
Okay. Anything else with comp time? Okay.
I just think that we need to, I think overtime needs to be paid out for the pay period it's earned in and not accumulated, because if everyone on this list wants it paid out tomorrow and we do it,
It's a huge amount.
where are you gonna get it?
Yeah.
I agree.
I think this has been a.
And I've always felt it should be
Council-
paid out at the hourly rate, it was, at the hourly wage it was earned, because they get raises every year, so who knows, some of these wages were from last year.
Well, yeah, I mean, if somebody has all these hours, they could be getting paid
Good point.
a higher number of dollars an hour this year, so just keep them till next year and you'll make more money.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think this, I specifically know that this was discussed in 2017. There were council members at that time that were concerned about the matter, and we're still talking about it. So I would urge the commissioners to consider that. And then it would allow the department heads to track their overtime better.
Maybe the handbook committee or whatever gets together and talk about that.
And
with the
it would
commissioners.
also create a history of overtime in departments to where department heads would know what to ask for when they come to budget hearings and say, I generally do X many dollars a year in overtime. That's what I need because we do these things. Instead of saying, I have no idea because nobody took overtime. They're all taking comp time. But next year they're all going to cash in and I don't know. I won't have the money. It just makes sense to me.
You can't manage your budget that way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anything else with comp time? All right. Next is the sheriff commissary report. Sheriff Holtkamp has supplied that for us. Any questions on that? EJ, do you want to vote to accept it or anything? No, okay. No, just state it that we have it. Okay.
Yeah.
I always forget.
Do we have to read the balances?
No, it's just for informational. Make sure that it's just basically that he filed it and gave it to us.
So you guys have to sign that.
Yeah.
All right. We do not have any old business. So new business. First item is election of officers. We may have should have started the meeting with this, but that's all right.
I make a motion for Ashley to be president.
That was quick.
I'm not messing around.
I'll second that.
I'll third that.
Thanks,
Can I
guys.
make another motion? We just keep the officers the same as they are, have been in 2025 for 2026.
You want to rescind your motion?
I'll rescind my motion.
Okay. I now have a motion to retain the current officers as Mrs. James, myself as president, and Brenda Furry as vice president. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion? All right, being none, all those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, state no. All right. Motion is carried. That was the quickest thing we've had all night. All right, next in new business, Julie Lanzone is here for an ambulance update. You sent us an email with stuff. Does anyone have questions for Julie on it? I know there's an additional invoice that we need to probably send to the commissioners to get that taken care of.
Just our end of year, to bring the balance.
So,
Anything we need to do to change to keep the balance? I know in this situation, that's not gonna happen, but
do you think we need to adjust the monthly rate?
yeah, that's why I
I
was,
would adjust the monthly rate because, well, I didn't have really any information for the first 6 months at all.
Right.
Aside from what we were in Cook County, and then I tried to do a good job of updating everybody with the work months of where we were sitting, but we knew we were going into it negative, essentially, so with the deficit. Yeah, I would suggest updating the monthly, because I think that we set pretty close. I will say, employee-wise, we've had a lot more issue this year, in both Park and Vermillion County than I ever could have anticipated. So having work comp injuries, pretty significant work comp injuries, and then a couple of very significant surgeries and a couple of new babies, all within the span of 12 months, really set us back. So then we were having to backfill either full-time employees working overtime or part-time employees working to fill those plus overtime. And several of those, like we're talking, we had at times 4 to 5 full-time people off at the same time for weeks. Due to medical issues. So
That's a lot, 4 to 5 people out at one time.
yeah, that hurt. But also if you have, you know, and heaven forbid an accident with an ambulance, I mean, you're immediately down 2 full-time, sometimes 3. It was a little bit rough.
Is it getting better?
It is much better. We have one person, I think she comes back next week, and then we'll be fully staffed again. When we stay that way. I told everybody they're required to remain healthy for 2026.
What kind of injuries are they having?
So 3 of them, I didn't say it was the fault of any of the employees. So we had one ambulance that was struck by another vehicle. We had one ambulance that was in the construction, like Roulette's Creek area, headed to Terre Haute, and they were in the construction zones and a deer jumped out and hit the ambulance. So the driver had nowhere to go but to either hit the brakes or hit a car that was on the other lane because they had them diverted on the same lanes, and they hit the brakes and very critical patient. They were doing CPR on the patient, and the medic that was standing up doing the airway thrown in for back. So not much we could do. And then we had another incident very similar, except it was they were taking a CPR in progress to Clinton, and the medic was standing up doing an airway, and a deer bounced off of the car that pulled over for them, came around in front of the ambulance, right where those 2 big ditches are off of North Main Street. That's why it's construction. So again, they had nowhere to go but to hit the brakes to not hopefully damage the ambulance to where they can't finish transporting their patient. And that medic is off with a shoulder injury. Hopefully will be done. So those kind of injuries that we can't. We had one that on I think it was a car accident, trying to get to a second patient and ended up going down with a knee injury. I'm not sure, something about a fire department apparatus and the ambulance personnel coming around the corner at the same time, and she got knocked. That was, you know, most of those are a minimum of 12 weeks off because of the physicality of our job. They don't allow them to come back. It's rough. It's really rough.
I'd like to make a request that in the future, Julie send all paperwork to the emails that you send them to the commissioners and the council to the auditor's office, because we did not receive anything that you guys got on these updates.
The end of your report didn't come to your.
I never got anything from you. No.
That's an easy fix.
Yeah.
I probably messed up because I just have and like a contact group, and I just.
Well, we've also struggled with getting the right email.
Because I was getting ready to say,
Yeah.
there's like
Because
4 or
like,
5 different.
names got typed in wrong, and so someone has like, I know Jeff,
Jeff.
yours
Yeah.
goes to the wrong one a lot, so. We'll see.
Did you see that one that I sent back? That his was wrong? I'm bad about that. It's okay. It's Jeff.
I'll update it.
You can
R-E-Y.
R-E-Y, not E-R-Y.
Jeffrey.
Because when I replied all, I got the bounce back.
Well,
That's
and
how I knew.
once it's in the system, it seems like it pops up
Yeah.
for some reason, even though it's not really an email, so I don't know. It does it
She may
online
have
too,
the
but I still.
wrong auditor email address then, or it could be. Just if he gives you the email, you can easily update it. Yeah, it'd be no big deal.
So can we get Misty to look to see if there's anything left in that line item for 2025? Because this contract is states for 2025. We can see what's left in there that we can encumber and then do an additional, but we'll have to do an additional we'll have to figure out what that's gonna be with the increase in the monthly payment as well. So we'll have to do this plus the increase. Right? Am I thinking right?
Sounds right.
So, yeah, if we can encumber some,
Yeah.
if not, we can do an additional.
Yeah.
So, and then we'll maybe roughly take that by 12 months and then increase the monthly payment. Well, probably 11 months at this point. Yeah. That way we don't want to put.
You can round it up to 150.
Yeah. So, which we did put extra money in the budget anticipating, because you had given us a spreadsheet during budget hearings anticipating for the yearly, and so we did add, I know,
I can't remember, but yeah, I know we did.
I'll have to check, but, so there is some extra in there already budgeted for that. All right, we'll see what we can do to get that caught up for you and send that to the commissioners too. Thank you. Appreciate
We
you.
appreciate you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes. So what, you got an update on the ambulance building or anything like that? I haven't really heard anything.
So actually, I'm gonna go look at it with the crew that's up north. We should be, if I understood correctly, we should be in by the 1st of February. Potentially the last week of January. It's very minor things that need to be done.
Right.
But then we're gonna be coming back probably, I don't remember if it's next year or the year after. The addition to the buildings. Right now we're doing temporary. So we're cutting one room down into 2 bedrooms essentially with but there does be bedrooms in the living room. The crews are super excited to get. They really like the location, and the building inside is really nice.
Oh, yeah.
Really nice. They did a
We
great
agree.
job on it.
RJ has, or Commissioner Donovan, I should say, he sent me the quotes that he received. Just over this past weekend, I haven't been sitting on them, I just got them, but the one was like heating and cooling. They were gonna put the furnace in the building, the truck bays, and then the other was the interior renovation, and I think, I'm not sure what the other, but you know, it showed the amounts and everything, so it looked just exactly like what he described. And the prices were real reasonable, so,
Okay, I'll get with you.
yeah.
So the date was maybe February when?
Either the last week of January or 1st of February.
Okay. Let's just say February, so.
It's gonna be weather dependent, of course, because we're gonna have to. But I have 2 and there's a.
Okay.
That part of the road, so I just don't want the medical supply locations specifically outside and having flashlights.
Right.
He did go with the larger heat system too for the outside base, which is really good because that's a huge area to be cold in all the time. So.
We talked about different possibilities of ways to do it, and John Graves, I think, is to kind of oversee the construction contractors. He thought the bigger one.
Yeah, don't underestimate it on the heat.
But our station in Rockville, we have 5 separate.
In the same area. You could easily add a second unit if they find out that the first one doesn't provide enough heat, but we're talking about the ambulance bay heat and everything, because remember the building doesn't have anything right now, so it's a large area and require substantial heat to keep it, you know, when it's 0 out. But it's an area that you don't want to underestimate its use. I mean, you could be out there, you know, doing exercises. There's a lot of different things you can do out there besides just park the truck. So, but anyway, he did upsize it. I had requested he consider that, and they did. So,
Is it gas forced?
it would have been no. There was an LP tank required because the natural gas wasn't available right there, I believe. So there's an LP tank that'll be filled, which
Same difference. So.
common. So. Well, I'm glad that the ambulance crew's happy. I think they deserve it. It's like, you can't always get exactly what you want, but you get what you need. So I think they need that right now. So.
Thank you, Julie. Appreciate your time. Okay, next up, we have the salary resolution. There were a few job titles changed, some amounts updated for calculations. There were a couple that were figured on 80 hours instead of 84 hours. So, any questions on the salary resolution? It will be retroactive back to January 1. Every year it seems like there's a typo or a mistake or something changes, so.
The only question I have is on exempt. for the first deputy.
So I sent you an email after that. I don't know if you had a chance to see it yet. So the commissioners did change the handbook and stated that they asked for first deputies not to be considered exempt. However, there are a lot of federal regulations that we also have to go by. It's not just the handbook. And so based on those federal, here I copied, just printed it out just in case. So under the federal, the Fair Labor Standards Act, there's some key points that determine whether someone is exempt. And like as of ours, our first deputies are appointed by the elected official. So some of those key points are, is the individual personally appointed by the elected official? Do they serve as the elected official's top advisor or alter ego? Does the position carry policymaking authority or significant discretionary responsibility? Like, are they in charge of things? Do the individuals report directly to the elected official? Is the position not subject to merit system or civil service protections? So most of our first deputies fall in line with those.
All the first deputies, yes, they're appointed by the elected official, but everybody in that office is, we're second, third, fourth, fifth deputy. They're appointed by the elected official.
Right, but your first deputy is also next in line to take, or if you're not in the office, who is in control of that? Are you assigning the first deputy special duties? So I'm just saying, there are federal guidelines that we need to have looked at. I know Vigo County, Neil has said that they've actually taken theirs to Indianapolis to have the Federal Labor Board there review it. They determined that their first deputies were exempt. So it's not just a matter of, well, it's in the handbook. These are actually federal guidelines
They
that
were
we have to.
excluded. They were
excluded.
further than that.
Yeah.
So they were even more than exempt.
So in order for us to update it, we're going to need a bigger determination than just the handbook saying that. If so, it may fall back on our job descriptions and how we actually consider that. We had a company that professionally does this kind of line of work determine that they were also
So if you're saying they are exempt because they're in a appointed position, then are we also saying they're just a salaried employee and they can work?
That can be up for debate. They have been
wanna
treated
work?
as salary, however, they can also be paid hourly. So if that is something that the county wants to change and pay them hourly and not salary, that is.
So how do we address that issue if we go down that road?
I don't know if it's in each office.
And the only difference,
office
but the only difference between exempt and non-exempt is overtime. Am I not correct here?
No.
I think there's more to it.
Ballpark for overtime.
There may be other things.
I think there's more to it.
There's more to
But it's pretty slim as far as the courthouse goes or any of the other workers. So the only ones that we're saying are exempt are basically first deputies in the courthouse.
We're not saying
and the
that. The
sheriff's
federal labor law
Yeah.
dictates that.
I would say
So there's
it's not a
tests.
matter of whether we pick it or choose it or not. We had the professional company examine it back in 2020, 2021, and then also there are federal guidelines that are also in place that we didn't create.
I couldn't find any paperwork on this professional company you guys keep talking about.
I got that one too.
Wagner. There was somebody that come through here and you guys didn't even use it.
Yeah,
You just,
it was before me.
they took a notion on it or something, I don't know.
Yeah, they got paid like $30,000 or $50,000.
Well, that don't surprise me.
My question is, why do you want this? I meant, or
Well, the
what is
bottom line is
the
if they're
benefit?
exempt and they're salaried employees, and just like my first deputy sitting there, if she tells me she ain't working tomorrow, she ain't working tomorrow.
So the report was from Wagner, Irwin, and Shield. They're,
That's kind of on you, though.
Yeah, that's up to
She can't,
you. That's
unfortunately,
not
she
true.
can't do that. You have to make that
I think you
decision.
could open up a can of worms here with a lot of different departments, and it's really over nothing. I mean,
I would say.
what are you guys basing the whole thing on, of what is the advantage of them being exempt?
I don't think
That's
exempt
fine.
employees can pick and choose when
No.
they want to be here. Excluded employees might be able to do that, but then they could get not elected again too, but.
and it specifically states here that Wagner, Irwin, and Shield is who we hired, and Associates. They're in Muncie. They have done this for numerous other counties. And their report is dated May 20th, 2021. 1. I do know they initially started their work in 2020. And it says, a Fair Labor Standards Act analysis was conducted on all county job descriptions. Each county position is designated either as excluded, exempt, or non-exempt for federal and state wage and hour laws, such as the Fair Labor Standard Act, FLSA, and employees holding such positions are treated accordingly. Employees holding excluded positions include elected officials, their policymaking appointees, and their personal staff and legal advisors. These employees are not covered by FLSA and are not eligible for or entitled to receive overtime compensation or compensatory time off. Employees holding exempt positions meet at least one of these tests for exemption under the FLSA and are excluded from specific provisions of federal and state wage and hour laws and are not entitled to and shall not receive FLSA overtime compensation or FLSA compensatory time or off. And then there's obviously non-exempt. So, and it says the status of each job description is also included on the salary analysis spreadsheets. So in the spreadsheets, and I don't have those on me, but there's a whole list of spreadsheets. It went through every individual and they classified it and it has it on the spreadsheets. So, I mean, I'm sure I can get you the spreadsheets as well, but on those spreadsheets, it does list first deputies and it says that they are exempt. So.
And they use FLSA tests to determine these, which I'm not familiar with. None of us are familiar with this. We don't do that. It's determined outside.
I would like to see those.
I can get you a copy.
Yeah, I would definitely like to see this, because everything was, we spent probably 3 meetings on this and went over all different kinds of laws and everything else. And when you read them, you can interpret them just about however you really want to, basically. But the bottom line come up that we really didn't see how the point of the first deputies
what meeting was that?
Qualified during their handbook deal.
Was that the handbook meeting you went to? Because I didn't. I don't recall.
Immaterial, we didn't see that they qualified to be exempt.
No, I was not at that meeting. I don't recall.
So.
Well, I'm just saying, we can't pick and choose. We have gone by what we were given from a professional company, also by the federal guidelines. So if that's something that needs to be changed, I mean, either us or the commissioners can try to get a hold of maybe Indianapolis for further determination on that. So at this time, in order to get the salary resolution complete with actual pay rates for people, I feel like it's important to go ahead and keep it the way we've had it, since we feel like that is in correspondence with the federal guidelines.
This be something Scott or John Spur would get involved in, and it's kind of legal.
Scott's been involved in this. This has been a question.
He was involved in
multiple
when we had
times.
the discussions on this before. Yeah.
So.
It's always been his position to do it.
Yes.
I mean, until we have something that can give us solid evidence to turn to otherwise, I don't feel like there's enough evidence to change it from the salary resolution at this time. Any other questions about, this will be resolution 2026-01. Is there a motion to approve it?
Well, I know there's been a lot of discussion.
Yeah.
I know you've talked to us and you've worked hard on this, and I guess I've got a lot of other opinions too, but I would like to make a motion that we approve these changes as presented here in this resolution.
I'll second.
I have a motion from Mr. Weir, a second from Mrs. Furry, to adopt resolution 2026-01, fixing compensation for employees and officials for the year 2026. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, state no. Resolution is approved.
And it seems like we're always going back and changing this. I think I'd like to see somehow we improve our budgeting process earlier, going through this and kind of having it reviewed before we publish it and then have to change it and maybe change it the third time. I know.
Yeah, some of it's not the budgeting, it's just getting the calculations.
Right,
Like,
and I know that's what this was
one of them
here.
was the health department, they're paid from 3 funds, so
I know.
it's
I
the
read
ratio
it.
of the hours per the fund. And then it also sets an overall average rate for the overtime, so that was adjusted. The deputy pay, the deputies when I typed it up, I had individually listed every line item like we have them. However, we've had some turnover in the sheriff's deputy, and we've now, in the past, we hadn't paid based on number of years of service, we do now. And so that, by combining them into one item on here now, if there is turnover, we could do an adjustment if we needed for an additional appropriation, but we won't necessarily have to adjust the salary resolution because it gives a range for the deputies. Because if you had someone who didn't have as many years and you hire someone with more, that pay rate would have been not enough for that deputy, so that eliminates that. There was some.
This seems like every year there's something new crops up. And I'll say the biggest one this year was the rounding issue. It's like, I would have thought that would have been resolved a long time ago to some extent.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we can put a committee together to look at it before we publish it and approve it. Just real quickly go through it. I don't know how we do it differently, but
Those are some things
it
we
just
can-
creates seems like it creates a lot of confusion every year. And I don't want us to have to keep going
Room for
back and
improvement.
changes paychecks or whatever.
Okay.
Just something to think about.
Good ideas. All right. Anything else before we move along? Okay. Next, we have the Vermillion County Library Board appointment. We do the appointment for the library board, and they have sent us a request. They have asked for Connie Warner to be appointed to the Vermillion County Public Library. This would be for a term of 4 years.
She knows what she's getting into.
Yeah, I see her out there.
Yes, she does.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve this.
Okay.
It's the same. That's just the form. Take it together.
I have a motion, is there a second? All right. I have a motion for Mr. Weir, a second for Mr. Somerville to appoint Connie Warner to the Vermillion County Public Library Board at their request. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, state no. Congratulations, Connie. Thank you for serving. We know you will. All right, and there was one part, Wayne, I see you're here for the Parks Board. I talked to Becky last night too. I explained to her that we're trying to determine, we do believe they should have been staggered. We don't know when that happened. It's been past 4 years. The last time we appointed the 2 park board members, they were at the same time 4 years ago. However, Scott's reviewing the documentation of like the setup of it and trying to determine how if we need to legally write something up since we're off rotation. So we've got a little bit more to do on that, so I don't think we're quite ready to appoint anybody to the Parks Board. She also mentioned that it's possible the judges' appointments might be off. I think they're supposed to be 2 years and currently they're 1 year off. So it might not just be our appointments either. So we need to figure out how to work that out to best so we don't end up with a bigger mess. So, thank you.
Corey Zumwalt's appointment, I found paperwork on it, he come in May of 23. And that appointment started on January 1 of 23. So I guess he would run 4 years.
He was filling in for his dad.
Right.
So he
So
doesn't,
it would just
finishes the term.
It would finish the term, not start a new
I
term.
understand that, but I mean, that term started January 1 of 23. When the one he was filling in for. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, you will get it figured out and figure out the best way to, whether we do a 2 year and a 4 year, or we leave somebody, I don't know. Or that's where we're trying to figure out what we can and what the best way to do that is with all of the positions. So, all right, that's the update on park board. Next is soil and water. Board President Connie Warner is here, and Executive Director Eric Scheidler. Good evening.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Hopefully we'll keep this short and sweet. You should have had in your packets a memorandum of agreement that was sent. Basically, and we did this with the commissioners last week, we've been encouraged statewide for soil and water districts just to have updated if they've had them in the past or new if they haven't had them, memorandums of agreement with our county bodies. So we did one last week with the commissioners, and tonight going through one with you. The one that you have in front of you is essentially just putting in writing and signing for a length of term what we decided last year with the contribution agreement and what you all have so graciously agreed to pay for while we've got funds coming in from another entity to pay for our employees. So there's not, I don't believe, anything in this agreement that we haven't already discussed and agreed upon. It just solidifies it in a document, and it's good until 2029. Consequently, that is when our contribution agreement is up with USDA. So hopefully before that time, we'll be coming back and maybe renegotiating some of this stuff with some more monies from the federal government. Fingers crossed, we'll see. I do want to say I appreciate the auditor's office and you know, working with us to get quarterly reports so that we can file to get our money from the federal government, and then we turn around and give you all your money back for paying out for the employees, and it's worked out really well. So Billy and Misty have been wonderful to work with in getting all of that documentation and paperwork and kind of figuring it out there at the beginning. So I just appreciate what they've been able to do. So if there's any questions on the agreement, I'd be happy to entertain those. If not, I have a clean copy if you all decide to agree to it. A clean copy for Ashley to sign.
So would you just go over our responsibilities to you? I see here under the general budget appropriation, that is one of them. Is there others?
Yeah, so you historically provided general operating money every year, and then also continuing to agree to fund the fringe benefits for employees and things like that in cooperation with that contribution agreement that we're tying those two. We're bringing in a bulk of those funds through that contribution agreement.
Okay. And this is effective until December 31st, 2029.
Correct.
On the cover page under Soil and Water Conservation District Responsibilities, the first sentence says the district will provide to the commissioners and make, is that supposed to say council? Or is that?
Yeah, that probably should have said council. I copied and pasted from one document to the other, so didn't
I've done it a million times.
I do apologize for that, but we you know, we give it to the commissioners and you as well, so we'll provide those duties to all entities. Good catch, though.
Good catch, yeah.
I read it and didn't think about it.
Is this does the council, are we allowed to enter into agreements like this? This is just an agreement, I mean, a memorandum.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really a contract or anything. We can't
The attorney
really
said
enter.
it's okay.
The attorney says it's okay.
I mean, I'm not trying to
It's
get
not
out
like
of
that.
it or something, I'm just saying.
It's more of,
I didn't know if he even needs our approval.
It's there, yeah, and there's
The
nothing
funding's already
in
been
here that
approved.
binds. I mean, it basically just says, hey, we agree to do these things, you know, and if things change, we're all coming back to the table and we're negotiating changes as normal business. So it's not changing anything that we don't do or haven't done for the last 70-some years.
There's a termination here of 60 days, so.
Would anyone like to make a motion to approve the memorandum of agreement between the Vermillion County Council and the Vermillion County Soil and Water Conservation District?
I will make a motion to accept the memorandum of agreement between the two parties.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Costello, a second from Ms. Brown, to approve the memorandum of agreement as stated. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, state no. It is approved. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. And then Connie's got a couple things she wants to share with you. And
Thank you very much, Connie Warner, Chair of the Soil and Water Conservation District for Vermillion County. We got some great things coming down the way. First thing off, though, is we'd like to invite y'all to dinner. We're coming up on our annual meeting. You can find out more about what we do. It will be Tuesday, February the 10th at the Vermillion County Fairgrounds. We do promise there will be food, story byline for that. Anyway, South Vermillion Choir is going to come and perform. So we're doing local talent and showcasing the kids, and then you can also see what Soil and Water does. And thank you for this memorandum of agreement. It basically is just this is what we promise to do for the county. And somebody can come along and say, what do y'all do? Well, it spells it out. A few things that we highlight over the year, our kindergarten day where the kids come, and you'd be surprised how many of them never pet a goat before, and they really like that. We do that at the fairgrounds. We have also at the fairgrounds put up a building that is dedicated to soil and water and the equipment there. We're there for the county fair and our conservation day, our K day, and we're trying to utilize that so very much. And lots of Purdue Extension, a lot of other organizations that we work hand in hand with, and just trying to make better things here for Vermillion County, soil health, conservation, and we're just going to do an even better job this year than we've done in the past. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Connie, what was the date of that dinner again?
February 10th.
February 10th? All right, thank you.
The dinner at the annual,
Oh,
yes.
The annual meeting?
What time is it?
6 o'clock.
6
Doors
o'clock.
open at 5:30,
Okay.
so you can socialize a little beforehand. Doors open at 6. Doors open at 6. I'm sorry.
Oh.
It starts at 6:30.
Program starts at 6.
All
I've
right, 6
been
p.m.
doing meetings, and so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for that correction.
Well, at least we would have been early.
Thank you. All right, that is the end of new business. I did look up, as a follow-up from our previous discussion tonight about the budgets, about being cut. The auditor's office in 2024 spent a total of $249,042. The fifth deputy was paid about $15,000 out of that fund, and part-time help was $6,500. That is included in the $249,000. In 2025, the budget, I do not know what the exact amount spent, but there was the ability to spend $255,000, which is about $6,500 more than what was spent. So nothing that was covered in 24 couldn't have been purchased in 25. And then again, in 26, the budget we approved is $250,000, but we removed $10,000 of part-time help, and then with the agreement to add at least $23,000 from the plat book fee. So that is an increase of $17,900 being able to be spent from the 2025 budget to the 2026 budget. So like I said, please look at the number of the actual expenses that you did spend versus what you had the ability to spend, because those numbers are pretty darn close. We've just cut the extra out of it. So I just wanted to clarify that. So, also, before I go to public comment, I have a statement I would like to read from the council. This is in regard to comments that were made at a commissioners meeting during their public comment session. During the December 17th, 2025 commissioners meeting, comments were made during the public comment period regarding the proposed carbon sequestration project. Specifically, Iny Mahan stated she really admired the commissioners for coming together and continuing to fight on it. She then proceeded to state, and I quote, "It's a good thing they didn't send everything to the county council because they'd had been here talking in favor of it." These statements do not accurately represent the position of the Vermillion County Council. Ms. Mahan has never spoken with any council member regarding carbon sequestration, nor has she engaged the council in any direct discussion on this topic. The only direct interactions council members have had with Ms. Mahan have occurred during open public hearings related to the Veterans Office budget during county-wide budget hearings last fall. Her statement of us does not represent or express our beliefs on carbon sequestration. At no time has any member of the Vermillion County Council voiced support for the carbon sequestration project. The Vermillion County Council recognizes and respects the concerns raised by members of the public regarding carbon sequestration, particularly those related to safety and long-term impacts. This letter is intended to clarify the record and ensure that public statements accurately reflect the position of the Vermillion County Council and its elected persons. Thank you. We just wanted to clear that air, that was not our position on that matter.
Not even close.
I know I've personally spoke at commissioners' meetings against it. I've been to the meetings at the former mine offices on the properties. Always been against it, so I don't know where any of that information came from, personally.
I will open it up for public comment if there's anything else. Mr. Ron Mack.
Ron Mack, Vermillion County Surveyor. First off, I want to thank you guys for working with me with the budget and getting things reorganized and cleaned up. Things are going to go a lot easier to keep track of. With that being said, I'm not asking for any money now, but we do have some things coming down the pike that I want to alert you to. Last week, District 1 Supervisor Brian, is it Brian? Yeah, Brian. Came in my office, 1800 south going out of Bunsen to the state line. They're looking to ditch that road. Unfortunately, in some places that road is 70 feet wide, and it may be 80, where they widened it for the Utes back in the mine days. And there's been so much work on that road. It's actually a section line, and we should be able to map where the middle of that road is, but we are going to have to do some excavation. So at some point, maybe later this summer, we'll have to ask for a little more money out of the perpetuation fund to pay for it. I think the county road boys are going to help us with a couple of holes. But what's happening is the surveyor is going to calculate where the monuments are supposed to be in the roadway. And then with his GPS, we'll be able to pinpoint it, and hopefully we won't make too big a hole and be able to find the actual stones in the road and set monuments. In the roadways, it's been strongly recommended, and it's pretty much standard practice to purchase what they call as a Harrison monument, and it sets in concrete, but you're able to raise it and adjust the height as asphalt and more gravel is laid on top of it. Those are the surveyor's recommending we do it every half mile, so we're looking at about $2,000 extra that we hadn't planned on spending. So that's coming up this summer. The other thing that I don't know how fast it's going to happen, I don't know if any of you are real familiar with the LEAP project in Boone County.
LEAP?
The LEAP project, okay. The majority of that property was purchased from one family. That family is now in Vermillion County, and they're buying acreage up. They bought 800 acres up by Gessie 2 years ago, and they went in and cleaned that up. They did not pattern tile it, they contour tiled the whole 800 acres and cleaned it up. They're just top-notch operators, that's all I'm gonna say about that, and they have a real good contractor they're working with. Well, it came to my attention last week, they purchased another farm, and it happens to lay well, one of our regulated drains that we have reestablished lays in that, and it's in bad shape. So I've been in contact with the folks and said, hey, maybe we can work out some sort of a deal. If you're gonna have to put in a new main, you might as well put in the main that our engineering company has designed for that drain to be rebuilt at some point in time. We had hoped we could kind of push that off until some development happened. It's commonplace in situations like that. I've talked to several county surveyors that oftentimes the county will supply, or the drainage board will supply the tile, and then their licensed contractor will install it. So you cut that whole project down in about half. The problem is the tile. It's about 2 miles of tile. And in that particular area, it's 36 inches for about a mile, and then it jumps to 42 inches. That stuff's not cheap. So, I began the process today of searching for grants to see what we can come up with. But at some point in time, would like to come back and at least have the council entertain the possibility of making a loan to the drainage board for the matching funds or whatever the grant is. Oftentimes, in those situations, they set the payback up on a 5-year payback to the councils with a balloon payment at the end. And then at the end, they just refinance that for another 5 years. Because typically the drainage money's only allowed, you have a 5-year span to get it paid back. So
Which
just giving you an alert.
Which drain was that?
That would be the Armor Morgan drain. West of Gessie. So, you know, nothing's happening, but I thought
Heads up.
better let you know what's coming down the road.
What's coming down the pipe?
What's coming down the pipe, so to speak.
Big pipe.
A big pipe. Just for kicks, I looked up tile prices. Menards for a 20-foot length, a 36-inch. What do they call it? PVC N12 tile. They're right at $1,300 for every 20 foot. And we're looking at nearly 4,000 feet of tile.
You would not want to buy it there.
No, but I mean, I just trying to get a concept of what kind of dollars we're talking about. So I think we'll do better than that, and we may be able to have the engineers change the tile sizes and those types of things. But it's
In that situation, you would probably talk to pipe vendors that have like the annual bid contracts for the county highway or something, and they've probably got bid price. In fact, they probably worked out something even cheaper than that.
Yeah. And I don't know that we need the gauge tile that the engineers came up with their preliminary study, you know. But all the landowners that I've talked to just went out to the shops and sat down and talked with them, had a cup of coffee. You know, they're pretty much okay with it as long as everybody can tie into the tile and they get their drainage going. So it's something that's just happened in the last 2 weeks, and you can't budget for stuff like that. That's it.
No,
Any questions? Anything?
Appreciate the updates.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So I have something for public comment.
Okay.
Just thinking out loud, and I'm not really prepared here, but a few years ago we had a study done on bridges and roads, culverts. I know 2024 we budgeted some money, and our highway superintendent made sure we got a lot of that stuff done, basically primarily for bus routes. I don't believe we did anything in 2025, and just curious, maybe the commissioners could, you know, bring us maybe an update as far as what that study is. I never seen a priority list. It'd be nice to see a priority list on that, and then what maybe our 1 year, 2 year, 3 year plan is for bridges, highways, and culverts for budgeting and planning purposes. If we ask now, maybe we can have something in the plan for
I know that 1 year we got
2027.
hit really hard with like rains and things.
Yeah.
We went through our budget pretty quick, so I think it was around close to that time they started having those.
Yeah.
Do you know?
And we just touched a little bit of what really needed to be done in the county, so I think we need to revisit that.
Just real quick, so when West Central did that study, I got the data and it's all uploaded on the GIS system. And Tia and the crew, they keep a spreadsheet out of the county garage of what they're doing, when they're doing it. And I think they meet weekly or bi-weekly, the 3 supervisors, and she does.
Yeah, I think they meet weekly, so maybe we could, they have.
So they may have update stuff that's.
Yeah, so maybe if we can get a plan, or at least we understand what it is, because I haven't seen a plan, unless you guys have.
No, I know there was a hot topic there for a year or so because we were, every time we turned around.
We spent a lot of money on
we had one failing.
Spent a lot of money on the information.
Mm-hmm. I know we need rain, but just not all at once.
Right, and we've had
I don't wanna do
issues
that
with
again.
the rain all at once too, so maybe we can work on that.
Do you want to be the contact?
Yeah, I'll make some contacts and see if I can come up with it.
Thank you. Anything else for public comment? No? Is there a motion to adjourn then?
I'll make the motion.
All right, motion. Is there a second?
You betcha.
Thank you. Have a good evening. Okay. The resolution you gave me, is that my copy or is that? Okay. I didn't